Hello everyone, Hi Treason here, long time no see. You know, I've had some people been very, very mean about my computer. His PC's only 6 megahertz, it's not very good. You know, it's, you can't play 3D games on it and stuff, it's rubbish. It doesn't even have 1 megabyte of RAM in it. Well, it actually does have 1 megabyte installed, it's just that those were the only chips I had, and in that configuration you only get 512k of conventional. It's like 1985 motherboard, and it doesn't know how to do it as 640 and 384. It is 640 and 3... Yeah, it is. Yeah, so, but you know, this is... if you're new here, this is totally just my daily driver PC. If you're not new here, then, yeah, hello. Obviously, I'm having new fags on, I guess. Not really, I don't think anyone's falling for that, but we're going to play Stunt Car Racer, which isn't a very easy game necessarily. It's not real hard. It's one of those that's easy when you know how. I've never completed it. I think we should have a go at it. You know, it's... I can't do much at the moment because my fucking stomach and stuff. Should be getting that sorted tomorrow. But I feel okay to record. I can't do much else at this moment in time, so let's have a go. It does support joysticks and my control pad, but it's a bit weird. Also, we kind of neglected to make fun of Cummings' name on the title screen, and Mictor style, which I don't understand why you would call it that, because all like that brings thoughts of his mictuate, which I'm pretty certain means to piss. So I'm not sure why you would want that on the title screen, but I mean, oh well. Yeah, we're going to go for the single player league. My name is Zeph. See, it's fast, this computer. It's not a slow machine. It loads real quick. It's alright, man. You're just jealous, I think, is what the problem is. Yeah, let's not do any practice. Let's just go straight in. We're in Division 4. So we're only 1 quarter at the moment. That's really good. Yeah, you can turn these around. But the problem is they don't show you where the starting line is. But it doesn't really matter on the first couple of courses. I never plugged my headphones in. Crap. Let me plug them in. I might smooth the sound out for you, because it's pretty rough sounding in your ears. Then again, when it's quiet, it's actually not. So yeah, there is another car. He might pass us, he might not. Because I'm just going to gun the bastard around the first 2 courses. I mean, there's not much reason not to. You probably want to slow to about 140 in the corners, or else take damage like that. But damage that's a line from left to right like that, you don't got to worry about too much. Should we go at about 180? It's probably good enough, isn't it? That's a bit fast, actually. It doesn't need much, this. But, yeah, that kind of damage, it'll make the car go slow, and if it maxes out, obviously it's going to fuck the car up, and then you'd, like, lose the race, because you can't race a car when it's, like, dead. But there is another damage type, which I'd say hopefully we won't get, but I'm fairly certain we will, which we don't want to get. It's pretty bad. But I'll try and remember to explain that when we inevitably get some, and if we somehow get really lucky and don't get any of that damage, then, well then I guess we'll just, let's slow it down. There's no need to wreck the car up, is there? Oh, there is a jump there, actually. What speed were we? Was that about 140 we went over that? That seemed about ideal. I'd say we're probably 155-ish, probably what you need. Because if you miss a jump and hit the wall, it does stupid amounts of damage. But I mean, the cars in these first 2 courses, he ain't going to drive that hard against us. But I mean, my machine, it's a 6 megahertz PC, this is fucking 3D in it. What are you going to do? Oh, this is Amiga version. It's more colourful than the Amiga version. It runs at higher frame. Like, I don't have my pretty, like, graduated road surface and shit. Or maybe I don't need one, you know? I've got more colours. Like, the Amiga uses gradients, and it's all fucking beige. I don't want to look at beige. Beige is a boring colour. My road's green and, like, cyan. All kinds of really nice colours, man. And I got a better frame rate. That is the power. I might have overcooked that now, we're alright. That is the power of 286s. At 6 megahertz. You can't do that on the Amiga. It's like, you know, because PC was known for being like better and stuff. PC was known for being like a business machine back then. It wasn't very good at games yet. I won. Look at the crowd. They love me. They think I'm the best. This took place back when I still had long hair, obviously. I think it's part of his outfit. And then the people in the crowd, like, they think he's fucking brilliant. I think Mullet Man's probably in that crowd somewhere. Somewhere, I don't know. It's just me, or is the girl with the green bra, like, copy pasted? It's not as obvious, like, with anything else. Just that stands out to me. Yeah, we have to race these tracks more than once to get out of Division 4, but it'll give us... I got the best lap, because I am the best. What's the name of that little... No, was that little rap the Humpback? Something like... Yeah, there you go. Give us that next. I don't think there's any jumps on this, is there? The whole memory of this track has suddenly gone out of my head. Yeah, come on. Well, let's not go too fast. I don't think we have to go full speed anywhere on the first two tracks. To be honest, you can probably not go too fast on this, because I don't think this is a jump. Yeah, so you probably want to take it easy over there, because I mean you come up on the corner. I think you'd make it if you got airborne. I think the car would come back down on the track, but... Oh yeah, I remember this now. It's bouncy, so you actually want to go pretty easy on this track, I think. I mean, as long as you're only doing line damage, you don't got to worry too much, especially not in here, because evidently it doesn't need full speed to clear or anything. So I think we're about to go over the lap line. Well, there is a jump there, actually, around the corner. That's pretty nasty place to put it. Yeah, this track's not actually that short, is it? Alright, I think I remember it now. But we can just gun it until we get, like, up this ramp. It's probably quite a ways behind. The AI's not too smart. It's not totally stupid, but... I mean, how many cycles they're going to dedicate to it? I mean, you're trying to get this game to run smooth on this piece of shit fucking Dorito of a CPU. I mean, I love this CPU, but let's be... It is a fucking Dorito compared to, like, playing on a 486 or something, isn't it? Clock for clock, like, in 16-bit code, it probably isn't actually that much different. But there aren't many 486s that, like, out of the box clock down to this speed. I actually can get my SX40 to run slower than this. I think it's about 1.25 megahertz is as far down as I can get that to go, and it will do it. Problem is, it also slows everything else down on the motherboard, so I don't think it'd be a particularly fair comparison. I mean, in this thing, there's... The whole fucking system is running at, like, 6 megahertz now. With one wait state, and the FPU's running at 5 megahertz, as that has its own crystal. And for some reason it's 5 megahertz, which is actually 20 megahertz divided by 4. It goes through like a 7474 twice. I was wondering if they had like some kind of stability issue. And this board, it's like I say, 1985. It's you know, we've seen it on the main channel. It's quite an early attempt at making a cheaper 286 clone, and it does show, and it really does come off as if this was just an XT board that they just kind of modified. Oh, we'll stick a second IRQ controller and a second DNA controller on it. There, now it runs 286s. It's got bodge wires in those bits. There, you know, we're making our way there. We're about to hit the halfway point of Div 4, I think. Race 4 of 6. It's a bit weird. Where's the old guy? And we're up against him next again, I think. Yeah, he thinks he's he's on like the lowest tier track. I envision he's like, you know, how would I describe him? You ever seen like battle bots? You know, like Ray Billings, like he has a tombstone. I picture him like kind of like a really horrid version of him for some reason. Because Ray Billings, he kind of plays the bad guy, but maybe he is, but I actually get the vibe he's probably actually a pretty nice guy. Like, you know, if you actually spoke to him, like, when he's not on the camera, I get the feeling he's probably actually an alright kind of dude. But I don't know. The guy, this Roadhog man, I don't know, just from his little image, I have visions of a kind of horrible, horrible version of Ray Billings. Like, he has the same kind of taunts, but he actually kind of means them, you know. Is much more bitter and stuff. See, that is one of the things I mean with Billings, you know, if you know what I'm on about. If you look at him, when he does his taunting and stuff, when he goes, "You want more?" Like, usually he will actually lay off if the other team look upset. Like, he'll just go and play with the debris, you know. He doesn't seem to behave like a complete dick. Because the thing with, like, robot combat, sure, you want to watch robots smash each other, but what if one of them's not working, it stops being fun, it's not a fight anymore, you know? I always figure there's probably an unwritten rule, you're allowed, like, one more hit, just as a kind of, like, send-off, like, yeah, take that. But, like, beyond that, it's sort of, the novelty goes away as soon as one of the machines breaks down. It's like, well, there's not much point now. You know, the excitement's gone. I mean, anyone who's been around here long enough will know, like, robot combat is something I'm rather fond of. And I'm glad I got to grow up when it was still in its infancy and, like, watch, like, people figuring it out. You know, I was on about a while ago in, like, Robot Wars. You know, watching people figure out how to deal with weaponry as it showed up. You know, early combat robots are just these boxes on wheels, so they got tipped over all the time. And people didn't piss and moan, they just figured out how to deal with that as well. We'll make it invertible, or we'll put this thing on it to make it right itself, you know. There you are, that's how we'll deal with those lifting arms. Eventually people brought spinners, which is more I was on about, where, you know, there was this one guy and his robot, like Splinter, it got completely trashed. And people thought he was out of his mind because he was going up against the best spinner we had in the UK at the time, Hypnodisc, and they're asking, what are you going to do? He's like, well, I'm going to drive into it. It's like, this guy's out of his fucking mind, you know, everyone thinks he's crazy. He's got this plastic scoop on the front of his robot, and people are watching the damn thing, and you know full well the roboteers in the back must have been watching. They're expecting it's going to be over in an instant because people used to run away from spinners like that. And this guy's ramming the disc and his robot doesn't get immediately destroyed, and he's kind of figured out, whether purposely or not, or if he's just, just go for it, you know, how to kill spinners. You know, it's things like you see it slowly coming on, because in the very next fight, they went up against a wedge, you know, they went against a robot called Wild Thing that was a wedge, and they just kept the wedge pointing at the disc the whole time. And they actually pinned Hypnodisc to the wall, which no one had ever really done before. Chaos 2 had flipped it over, like in the series before. And back then it couldn't self-right Hypnodisc, but that was, you know, they hadn't pinned it. Whereas Wild Thing actually managed to pin the bloody thing, and it was when people were figuring out, like, this is how we deal with these. We don't run away from the spinning disc, we run into the spinning disc, because if you run into it, it can't fucking spin. If you're watching robotic combat, it's I find it pretty interesting how the robot that runs away usually ends up losing, even when it's against a fairly ineffective robot, because usually all the offensive stuff is up at the front, and if you're running away, you're turning the back of the robot that's pretty defenseless. You've just got wheels back there. So you're just letting wedges get underneath, you're letting discs get to your wheels, you know. You're letting axes or hammers or whatever, which you don't see many of nowadays, like, get to your top armour, where it's pretty weak at the back usually, because people usually put all their armour on the front because of bloody spinners. It doesn't necessarily apply as much on the live circuit, I don't think, because you know, in the live competitions, big spinners tend not to be allowed for, like, health and safety. But you can understand the organisers don't want it on their heads, you know, if somebody gets hurt. But it is a shame, because I do love spinners. I love vertical spinners the best. We built a prototype of one years ago. Built a bar spinner before bar spinners were a thing. I just called it a pummeler. But yeah, they call them bar spinners now. I don't have it anymore. If I had the money and there was a place, like, you know, a competition that allowed them that I could get to, I would totally build one again, like, and actually enter it. I don't think I'd win anything with that car. I think it'd just be fun to do, you know. I think it'd be really, really fun. And it was fun to play with the test thing I built years ago, you know. My friend built his test one. He basically built what you would now call an undercutter. It's again, it wasn't something people had played with so much yet. And it was fun to, like, smash them into each other and watch them destroy themselves. The materials weren't that great. And you are subject to Newton's law. It's the thing with, like, a big bar spinner is 50% the energy is coming back into the robot with the spinner on it. It's going to kill itself, you know, it wants the fight over quickly. But I suppose we should talk about this bloody game we're playing at some point. I don't have much to say though, because this track's kind of grey and miserable. This is the closest looking to the Amiga it gets. Look at it, it's all dreary. The Amiga has, like, PCM sound effects, but they're not very good, so I don't think we're missing much by having our, like, PC speaker sounds going on here. With they've been fed through my dodgy fucking ad-lib clone. You know, it's an 80s, late 80s, early 90s fucking ad-lib clone called the Music Synthesizer 2. It doesn't have a legitimate Yamaha FM chip on it or anything. I love it. I love clone hardware. It's so much fun. And it's sort of like the robot combat thing, where you can sort of see the evolution happening, you know. You can see computers moving away from being these overly expensive business things to being something a consumer might actually be able to afford. And this machine's really like an early example of your your attempts to whitebox PCs. Oh, I've been promoted. I'm the best. I'm the fucking best. Right, I guess I'll save the game in a moment. His shadow makes the graphic like from his arm, unless it's actually a mistake in the graphic. I was tempted to put the EGA card in for this and use the new best of the ISA 4 I've built, which actually reproduces colours properly, but I don't think that's for today. Anyways, I guess this will be a part, so... it's not going to keep capitalisation, is it? Yeah, I'm Treason. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Right then. Right, let's do Div 3. They're calling me a Div. Well, they're not the fast. I'm sure they won't be the last. Menu layouts I always thought were a bit strange in this game. This is not in the order that I would have put things in. Racing max boost. And now it's all about the magic speeds. And it's got a nasty thing at the start of this track. There's actually a jump and we're not going to be able to see it on the first time round. We will know about it the second time, and it's actually quite difficult to gauge. I wouldn't say any of the tracks in this game were necessarily hard once you know how to do them. But there is method to this game. It's actually not like super simple, nor is it super difficult. It's a challenge. It's a nice challenge. It's actually not a bad game. And I have to be honest, like, it does alright, like, with its physics system and that. Right, we want to be, yeah, about this kind of speed here. Might be a bit fucking too fast, dickhead. I think we got it. Because if you go too fast there, you overshoot and hit the next wall. If you go too slow, then obviously you don't make the jump and you just smash the car into the wall. You don't want to do that because it does massive damage head-on collisions with things. And it will definitely give you that other type of damage I mentioned, which is very bad stuff. So I want to get it to about this speed, I think. That may be a bit quick. And then you need to... yeah, there you go. It's actually quite tricky, that, because you can't really see it, but it is there. You will know if you go over too fast, the car bounces. But I have to be honest, the physics system in this game is actually pretty good. It's very bouncy, very airy, but when you consider what it's running on, it actually does a splendid job of what it does. And I do feel like this game probably would run on a slightly slow machine. There's that other damage type I mentioned, that bullet hole there. That's the crowd shooting him because they're not liking what he's doing. Now, it's actually structural damage that's been done to the car, and that will persist for the rest of the racing season. But the game's not just happy with that, it also now acts as damage multiplier, so the line damage from left to right will come on the car faster than it did before. We're on the last lap, but I'd really like to not get any more of that type of damage. Because, as far as I know, one of the tracks later has unavoidable damage like that, and obviously you've got to do 3 laps, so you're going to take a fair bit of it later on. This is where I want the magic sort of 160 miles an hour kind of speeds. They're too fast. That was because I panicked because I went off the edge. I think we've managed to do it. We have. I don't know how we did that. Don't ask me. But I'm not going to argue. I'll take it. You know, I'm not going to turn around and drive back to the starting line. Oh, I'm sorry, man. I threw it. We just did that by luck. You know, I guess I should lose now. It's not how it works. What I'd do, because of that one jump there, throw it off the side, because the line damage goes away. But if you smack that dodgy fucking wall there, that even after the race is over, the structural damage carries on. He's getting the applause from Mullet Men again. Mullet Men wouldn't applaud, he'd be there in the audience. I could drive the car better than him. I used to be a stunt car driver, you know, back in the 80s. I was the best. They had to ban me because I drove like way better than everyone else and just made them look rubbish. Max boost again. We'll show him who's got boost power. I'm sorry, I'm going to bark a bit. Told you, I got stomach problems. I've been unmedicated for a couple of years and they're very, very bad at the moment. Got a doctor's appointment tomorrow to test medication, so hopefully we can get it sorted out. Oh, jeez. It's quite unpleasant, to be honest. Anyways, I think you want about 170 on here. Somehow we ended up short, and we might be short on this now, because you don't need quite as much for this. It's very easy to roll off the top of this corner. But once you get round here, you want to fucking floor the bastard. You need about 200 cadix or whatever that fucking unit of measurement is to get over there. I assume it's metric, because I don't think this car will do 200 miles an hour. Game doesn't feel like 200 miles an hour, though. Again, it does a phenomenal job for what it'll run on. I'd love to know if it'll run on a Turbo XT. I think you'd get away with a 4 MHz 286, but I don't know about a Turbo XT. The only one of those I have is that laptop, and that's CGA only, so can't test this, because as far as I know, despite the executable being called Car EGA, there is no Car CGA. Wonder if there was a Hercules version. That might actually look alright. You could probably make this game look pretty good on a Hercules card, you know. But the one card I can't convert to VGA, unfortunately. I can sort of convert them to composite, but TVs generally won't sync it properly. So you can see the picture, but you can't quite dial the synchronization in. But you can do it, and it doesn't need too many components. Really, it's just another exclusive all-gate. Whereas the Bastardizer 4, which I've opted not to use today, is uses a demultiplexer and additional diode clamps, and that gets us the colours that were missing from the Bastardizer 3 that I had on the main channel. Oh, have we done it? Are we just there? Come on. Oh no, we took structural damage. That's not good. We'll just roll with it for now. So the car doesn't accelerate as good once it's like taken line damage. Yeah, it's I don't really want to buy a Turbo XT, because this 286 really is about the bottom of what I'm willing to mess with. Like, I owned a non-Turbo XT. I actually owned a 5150 years ago. Utterly boring fucking thing it was. Hence I sold it a long, long time ago. Probably bought broken PlayStation 2s with it and sold those on to GameStation, which I then used, you know, the in-store credit to buy consoles, and you got like a boxed Atari Jaguar was like £40 at the time, and when I wanted to buy my Profit 5, boxed Atari Jaguars were like, what, about 300 quid? About 380 you could sell them for sometimes, and when you consider the PlayStations were £5 to buy broken, they got 50 quid in-store credit, that Jaguar cost me £4. Like, and I converted that stuff into a profit 5. It took 15 years, but I did it. That's investment. That's capitalism. Now we're racing against Turk and Gal. The red marks on her face make her look like she's got like Native American markings on her or something, but she's too pretty to be Native American, I think. She looks more like some kind of Honolulu lady or something. I don't know, she gives me that vibe. But I don't find those to be particularly pretty in real life either. What do you call those people, like Samoan or something? Don't find they usually look too good. Personal preference, there'll be people out there who find like Native American girls like the sexiest women on the planet, and someone else who finds like Samoan women the sexiest women on the planet, but it's not my taste. Most of them. You do get some good looking ones, but the majority of them I've seen aren't really much to look at. But again, you know, look at British women, they're fucking ugly. Still, we cannot lose now, because they will be losing to a girl, and I'm not willing to accept that. You know, on the subject of that, I find it pretty interesting how larger tech channels, and a lot of larger channels in general, seem to have about a 33... You watch them do like live stream, oh, we're going a bit fast. Wasn't paying attention. Live streams, it shows up especially, tend to have about 1/3 female audience, and I find that kind of suspicious, because there's definitely are women who watch this stuff. Even on my bloody channel there is, but on my channel it's a bit more realistic, because they only really account for 1% or less of like all the views, and that's about what I'd expect. You know, I can tell you from years of being in this hobby and working in this field that you really don't run into too many women doing this kind of thing. Like, it's extremely rare, and so 33% seems a bit suspicious to me. Or maybe times have changed, my audience is just older, I don't know. It's entirely possible, it might be a generational thing. And I don't really know too many women in like their 20s or whatever. Tend to be late 20s through to like their 70s, really. So, you know, I guess maybe it's a generational thing, and my channel audience is just older, but I do find that very strange, and I still find it kind of suspicious. Maybe somebody's paying to get views here. Or it might be a load of transsexuals, I suppose. It's entirely possible. Did I just misjudge this? No, I think we've got it. Yeah, we've got it. But yeah, then I know there's some transsexuals watch my channel, but I guess maybe they put male as their thing, or just don't define anything in that box. I don't know. Do you have to fill that in when you register an account on YouTube now? I can't remember if you had to when I registered, because it was a very long time ago. And I remember spending most of my time on the registration page playing with the hexadecimal colour chooser stuff. Oh no, you see now. Well, what was I saying about generational things? Because now it's like, oh shit, he's a fucking old fag, him. Gonna call him a fucking boomer now. I'm not that old. I have been on YouTube long enough to where I did see the... oh shit, we want to throw it off, don't we? You know, I've been on YouTube long enough to where I did see that interface that did exist when I came to YouTube. You could set background pictures, and for a time you could actually have them animated. There was a way to do it. So I had a proper vomit-inducing one on my channel. And like trippy colours and stuff. Do we have to race Turk and Gal again now? Oh, I'm the best. Yeah, we do. In all fairness, I would fuck Turken girl. I mean, she doesn't look too bad as far as EGA women go. I mean, she looks better than Molly from, like, Keen 6, doesn't she? She's sort of a bit closer to, like, Leisure Suit Larry women, is Turken girl in this game. That's all we ever see of her. If anyone's ever drawn Rule 34 of her, I don't think I can be bothered to look. By all means, look that up for me and let me know. I'm not going to draw any. I only draw furry art, because that's all I can draw. I can't draw people, but I can draw furry, it turns out. Which is no good, because I'm not a fucking furry. It would be fucking brilliant if I was, and oh shit, I can draw my own pornography now. But instead, no, it's like, oh, this is just wonderful, you know. I might have been a furry if Dinosaur Planet had come out when it was supposed to. I don't know what that would have done to my young developing brain, staring at crystal for hours on end. I might well have turned out that way if that game had come out. Crystal, come here, my girl! Oh no, come on. Oh, that was rough. Game's bashing on me now. It's like, how dare you make comments about Turken girl? How dare you say things about Crystal? This track is sort of vaguely similar to the colour of Crystal, isn't it? It's not quite as blue. I really should pay more attention to what I'm doing in this game, because, I mean, we really don't want any more of that structural damage. It's very easy to roll off the back of this corner, I think I said. I don't know. Can't remember. Just gun it here. Up the ramp. You can't gain speed if the wheels are off the floor, so you don't want to go into it too fast. If you come out the corner too fast, it'll bounce. Okay, we're nearly at the end of lap 2. One more lap to go. We're very nearly out of Div 3. Dividend to the end. You can just floor it there, but it's rather disorientating. Man, we're taking loads of line damage all of a sudden. Yeah, I just call it line damage. I mean, if you roll off the corner here, you will not get enough speed to make the ramp when you get put back on the track. We might fall short now. Come on, because the car's quite badly damaged. I don't think we're going to make it. We're going to wreck. Oh dear. Well, I got no recording time left for today. Well, I have, but I have other things I want to do now. So I guess I'll go and do those. I'll rejoin you next time. Well, we can probably still make it out at Div 3, actually. It's just the one rack. You get that picture. I should have stayed on it. You've got a pause button. You can pause the video. You're well and truly capable of pausing it. Oh no, we got beat by Turken Carl. God damn it. I'm still the best. Look at me, I'm winning. I got promoted. Max Boost got relegated, the fucking loser. Oh, so much for sure, this silly Englishman who looked like the frog, eh? It's a Simpsons quote. I don't have a problem with the French. That's a generational thing. All the people, they hated the French. Don't have a problem with them. The French people have generally been fine. To be honest, the ones I've spoken to, they don't seem that different to British people, in all honesty. They're certainly different enough. You know, they're not British people, but they're not that different. Which figures, because they're geographically quite close to us. Only a little bit of water separates the two countries. There's been a lot of French people in England over the years, and a lot of English people in France. So, you know, that's going to happen. Guess we'll save the game. We'll save it in a new file. been promoted. Like, how has he done that? He destroyed his car. A lot of black people in the audience here, isn't there? Don't know. He's like a weird half-caste, the ones closest. I'm not sure what to make of that. Whether they're black or it's just the EGA palette been funny. The Dodger's definitely a black man. Hot Rod's got sunburn. He was like coming out in sympathy with Duke Nukem, I think. They're all rather 80s looking. Daredevil, he's gone. Oh, look, Big Ed. Look at him. He's a jerk. We're going to have to race him next. We're not doing it today, like I said. We're going to save the game. I'm going to go and do things otherwise. But you can stay here while I save the game. Save it as YouTube 2. And then we can go backwards if I decide that I've fucked up and I want to do it again. Let's have a look what sort of structural damage we got. We'll have a quick test and then I'll just quit the game. Because we probably did get to keep quite a bit from there. You know, we don't need a perfect victory as long as we get to win. That's all I'm bothered about. Whiz kid. Oh, now he's going to take a whiz on my fucking road. Yeah, we got 3 structural damages. And I'm not going to spoil the track for you. But I have to see it next time. So Whiz kid's going to be confused because I'm about to vanish out of existence as far as he can tell. Because... I'm Treason. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Ta-ta. Right then. Division 2. You fucking div. What you doing? Fucking dickhead. Every time I start this game, it asks me if I have a joystick, and I have to answer no. Which isn't an honest answer. I do have one. I just don't think the game would want me to play with it. I mean... it would be impossible to use the keyboard. Well, I could do it one-handed. Could try, but I think I'll avoid that. I suppose Token Girl character might want to play with it. I mean, she ain't great. She don't really do it for me, in all honesty, but... I mean, she's all the game has, so I'll take what I can get. You need to be fast on here. You need 200 kilo dicks, or whatever this weird measurement is. Apparently miles an hour. And there's a thing now, we have to start making use of another mechanic, one which I didn't know existed, so I've attempted to do this a few times and now feel like an idiot. You see that B on the dashboard there? I thought that just stood for Burt Raccoon, you know, and it was the Evergreen Grand Prix, but apparently it's not. You know, I thought the numbers going down were just how close he was to passing out from the petrol fumes. That's boost, and we need that to get over that fucking ramp. So, yeah, now we have to lay off of the accelerator a little bit, because otherwise we'll run out and you won't have enough left to go around on the 3rd lap. And it pretty much wrecks the car instantly if you hit the wall on the other side of the jump, so be mindful of that. Need to be doing over 200 to get over here. And the BART meter does still go down if you're holding the gas in the air, so be mindful of that too. Game's not running too bad today. It's a little bit hit and miss. I have a theory that it's just clock drift. Because I mean, if we were on like a 33 megahertz system, losing like 1/3 of a megahertz or something either way, you're not really going to notice. But when you only have 6 megahertz to play with, you start being able to feel it a little bit. That's quite a lot. Yeah, the road's slanty. You can actually gun it on this. The car won't slip. And to be honest though, the physics model, whilst it is rather bouncy and airy in this game... Oh, ice cream van. Don't know if you'll hear him. It's not really bad, is it? It actually does alright. I'd love to try running this on a Turbo XT, and I might get one and try. Because that Zenith laptop, the CGA in it is quite limiting. There are things I'd like to test on it that I cannot test now. I need to go fast here, don't I? Can't test because it's limited to CGA. Burnt Raccoon. Lisa, wait! Show a picture I drew that I can't really show you on YouTube. Basically, it was been a pervert. Thing is, I considered actually drawing a storyboard for how I'd picture such an episode playing out, like, just for fun, because I mean, like, I could picture him doing it completely innocently, you know, like, I don't think he'd have any ill intent, he'd just not realise that you don't do things like that, you don't spy on girls bathing, like, it's not the done thing. Well, we only have to race that track several more times. It's not a fantastic game, this, is it, you know, but it's not awful, to be honest. Oh, I'm the best again. But, you know, it's, by, like, late 80s PC game standards, it's pretty good. The PC was still pretty crap as far as games went in this time. It's certainly probably one of the better ones from 1989. We had Captain Comic a year earlier, that was good, and that was unusually good for a PC game. Oh, we get more boost on this, do we? We get more Barts. Bart Raccoon. I've never raced on this track. Don't know how it's going to go. I know we're going to want to slow down. Well, my car's going slow. I think the performance is shit in the bed again. Get a little bit hardborn. You don't want to get too much. Game would run smoother if we were on the real EGA card. I'm not necessarily saying it'd run faster, but it would certainly smooth things out. It's something I've noticed. Oh, I thought we were going to take structure damage. We didn't, luckily. I don't know if that's universal to all VGA cards, just purely because this Everex is from 1987. So VGA came out in 1987, so that's a little bit of a limiting factor, like they probably hadn't quite got the hang of cloning IBM's hardware just yet. Oh no, you can gun it up this one because it's a corner. I don't think we're so likely to run out of boost on here. The AI's been quite competitive so far though. Can you gun this? I think you can, yeah, it's quite a smooth transition, isn't it? You know, I can't really hear the game, right? Because it makes things ringy and metallic in my ears when I take my headphones off, so I just don't wear my headphones. It looks like it's going to be a bit tight on this track. This is where you want to hit the brakes. Just a little bit. Doesn't matter if you get a little bit of a hop. But as you can see, the corner is really quite close. And you obviously don't want to bounce off the back of it like an episode of Full Metal Challenge. Was it the Chinese who did that? Can't remember. Has anyone else even seen that show? Of course, I've seen that show. That structural damage is biting us, isn't it? We're taking damage fast. Whoa, the physics janked. It does that sometimes. It's rare, but it does happen. But yeah, of course I watched Full Metal Challenge because Kathy Rogers presented it. And you see, a lot of people liked Philippa who presented Robot Wars, and I wouldn't have said no to Philippa, but Kathy was just better. She was a whole different league. She had that nice tomboyish look about her, and she actually understood engineering. I don't know what's going on. Okay, we're not on the track. Hopefully it recovers, so we took more structural damage. That's my 286 blown up. Well then, I think we might be fucked here. That might be it, boys. No, don't break on me, Tonya. Well, it took you this long to notice. It's offended again. I replaced the RAM shouldn't be faulty, so I think this might just be one of them one-off things. I'm going to leave this in. Yeah, because this machine, I think, does this every once in a while. It gets in a bad mood. And how often do you get to see things like that? You won't see things like that if you watch one of these other fucking lame-ass channels that run everything in an emulator. Emulators either work or they don't by now. Garbage. Boring. So this is the real thing, this is where it's at. If you've got a cheap piece of crap clone like 286 from 1985 from fucking China, then this is the sort of thing you had to deal with occasionally. Like this is your experience right here. Well, you watch it not start up again now. Oh, you watch the... I'm going to say, you watch the video, be jank. It is. Turn it off and turn it back on again. That's the universal fix for machines. Yeah, now we're just getting dark video the whole time. So what we'll do, we can get that to go away. Usually we just reset it a bunch. Maybe not this time. Do we have a bad rail or something? I'm starting to think we might, you know. So I've just got dull video. There we go. I wonder if that's a power problem. I mean, everything in this machine's really old. And really beat. And really cheap. So like it was all like budget hardware, or trying to be budget hardware. It's not the cheapest you could get. It's kind of a cheap attempt at things that were still considered pretty high performance. So yeah, that's bound to work absolutely brilliantly. I'm amazed we didn't get floppy controller failure. Because you do get that sometimes when you've reset the machine. It'll work fine anyway. Was it Adrian who was playing Adrian's Digital Basement? It might have been someone else. There's something wrong here. But it's done this before and mended itself. Divide overflow. I wonder if it's just the weather. I don't think I replaced the 6 MHz crystal on this machine. It's probably dodgy, like judging performance drift. Oh, now we've got just beeps. That's the video card. Oh, don't let my Everex card die. Oh, yeah, I had to replace all the capacitors on it. Deary me. Like I say, it has done this before and recovered. Well, maybe something fell out of a slot. Guess we'll just leave it alone for now. I'll come back. Well. Yeah, I think the problem likely is the video card, but we'll see. We've switched to the EGA card now. So what you're seeing is the Bastardizer 4, which I don't think I've shown in public before. Of course, this might not be used, or might be used late as hell. So, well, yeah. Let's turn that down a touch. Yeah, fuck it. It'll be fine. Turn it back up. It looks better on the monitor. The capture card isn't its best friend, unfortunately. So things tend to look a bit washed out. I mean, it's never going to be perfect. You know, it's called the Bastardizer for a reason. It doesn't do an elegant job of converting like video formats between one another. It just does a job. That's what the video Bastardizer does. It's not a bad thing, because again, you know, other people are using PALs and fucking CPUs that have more power than the fucking host system that with the goddamn EGA card in it. This thing uses 7.4 logic. Well, actually, yeah, it just uses 7.4 logic because the demultiplexer it uses is 7.4. Is the 8.6 the exclusive or part of the 7.4 series? I think it is, but the ones I have just say LS86 on them. But I think they're 7.4 LS86 is like the full number. I'm not accelerating because of the boost. We know how that works now. It's gaining on us a bit, but you see that where that negative number in the lower left? That's the distance between me and fuckface. But yeah, it's what's the other one? I think 138. It does borrow from somebody else's schematic, H2 Obsession. There's actually an error in his schematic. Has some alterations, it's not a straight up copy, but it's as now as, and it fucking works. And it's cheap and easy to build, and it doesn't require its own fucking CPU. And latency on it's very good as a result, because we're not really processing the video signal, you know, we're not taking it into its own buffer and arsing around with it somewhere, we're just really converting it to you know, analog RGB, and that's about it. The main difference between it and the old bastardizer was, and H2 Obsession, it turns out, built a very similar bastardizer to that, but a lot of people have made those, like going back since at least the start of the 80s. So, you know, that as I said in the video about, it's a very old circuit, and there's millions of little variations on it. And this thing isn't really any more sophisticated, it just has one more diode clamp on it. And the other diode clamp is now controlled differently, like the demultiplexer does like a lot of the work. Really is not a complicated device. It does amaze me how much people complicate this. I like computers, and I believe there are things computers should be in to make life easier. It's like my Prophet 5. That is a very good example of using a computer, because synthesizers work better when you put a computer in, but it's not unnecessary like the levels it goes to. All synthesis is still done with the Cartis chips. It's just that you have a computer to store the parameters you want put in. That's brilliant. That's what a computer should do. That is a quality of life improvement. For this, why do I need a computer to convert this? Well, what's the point in employing a computer system to do this job? There just isn't one. We already have a computer system. It's a 286 with an EGA card stuck in it. That's doing all the computational shit. All the bastardizer's doing is clamping voltages. Like, there's really nothing too fucking special about it, let's be honest. Right, let's see if my PC decides it wants to throw a fit again. I personally don't think it will, but it might do. It was supposed to be an EGA system, this, you know. That was the original plan. When I built it, I actually ordered a Genoa EGA card that was supposed to go in it. I still have photos of it, but they lost it in the warehouse. It's on the same cell of the motherboard kit. In fact, that was pretty much the history of this, because I think I ordered a different motherboard originally and they lost that as well. It was ATI branded, of all things. Personally, I like my off-brand one that's in here. I think it's very good. It's fucking awful. But that's what I wanted from a 286. I wanted a a crummy white box 286 that was slow and a little bit dodgy, so I could enjoy that. You know, it doesn't do anything critical, this machine, so if it doesn't work properly at something, it's not like I can't just fire up that 48640. That thing will do everything just fine. That machine never fucking fails. I've never ever known that machine to fail. And this thing, you know, this 286, it is properly janky. It doesn't do a lot of stuff that it probably should quite as well as it should. It'll get there, but it'll do it a bit dodgy. Because when it was built, 286 was still a relatively high-performance CPU. And this was an early attempt at making a Chinese clone that was cheap. And it shows, because it's fucking broken. And I love it for it. It's fucking brilliant. It's awesome. And I know I'm not like saying things that make no sense, because I know most people who watch this stuff are in the same hobby as me, and even if to a lesser extent, I'm sure you have that same thing, where you have something that is an absolute piece of fucking crap. It's garbage, you know it's awful, but you can't help but like it. I really thought we were going to get structural damage there. Cunt faces on the Technos. Doesn't matter too much. We have another lap to go. Probably just going to keep pace with him unless I get a good opportunity to overtake. With our bouncy physics, you hear the car. That's when it comes off the road. Gravity doesn't seem to have as much effect in the universe this game takes place in. But I mean, this looks like it's out in a desert. So, I mean, deserts are weird places. Funny things happen in deserts, you know. Funky music in the desert. I don't have any music. This game has no music. Probably wouldn't be very good music if it did, because I think it started on the Amiga, so it would be tracker crap. And people get mad when I say that about tracker music, but most of it is fucking awful. Oh, you son of a bitch. What could I do though? I mean, there was nothing I could do. He's out of here. Look how fucking quick. How am I supposed to catch him? It's fucking nearly a kilometre ahead. Measures it in metres, apparently. Do Amigas support... Because the manual I read was from the Amiga version. It was the only one I could find. Do Amigas have, you know, case in the file system? Can you have, like, lowercase characters in the file system on an Amiga? Because the manual suggests you can when you save a file. I don't remember being able to do that on my 500. Or is that just a thing that the 500 can't do, but some other models can? Like, I'm not very up on how Amigas work. I used to own one, but it was boring. I sold it. I think I said in an earlier part, didn't I? Like, I got rid of my Amiga because it fucking bored the ever-living fucking hell out of me. Couldn't do anything. Like, this 286 is really a bit of an invalid, but I can do way more cool shit with this than I can on the Amiga. And the only way I'd get another Amiga is if I could get a video toaster. This isn't a slight on people who are into Amigas. Like, you know, if you really, really like them, I'd never tell anyone what to like. And if you really, really enjoy the Amiga, then, you know, you're probably this fucking moron with his shitty fucking Chinese 286. It's a piece of shit. My Amiga would fucking smirk it. It probably would. Race lost. Well, yeah, you can't really fuck up in this, can you? We'll keep playing, because it's about points. It's like Mario Kart, right? Don't matter if you come fucking second, as long as you got more points. There at the front, that's Mullet Man's girlfriend, I think, that. I dread to think what sort of women Mullet Man would be into. Fuck you, whiz kid. I don't like you. That's why the track's yellow. He took a whiz on it. Oh, you son of a bitch. Look, he's got 6 fucking points, the dickhead. I'm going to go and sense his fucking big head, probably. Oh, no, don't we have to... Yeah, there he is. Twat. Look at him. Prick. Hate him. You better not fucking relegate me if I fucking fail at this game. I can't believe it came off the track. Is that track? Like, there's something wrong with the physics in it, and it breaks my computer. Should you just play it on Lisa, like the 16 megahertz one? It probably would run better, probably more fucking reliable. Oh, look, he's fucking wheeling. Thinks he's the fucking Billy fucking big fucking potatoes or whatever. Well, I got news for you, Sonny Jim. You ain't, and I'm gonna fucking leave you eat my fucking exhaust smoke. After I've eaten it, because, I mean, it's gonna quite clearly be coming in through that window, isn't it? Like, poor Bart Raccoon's driving the fucking thing. He's gonna be fucking coughing his fucking lungs out. Or hallucinating. He's probably hallucinating about Lisa. I don't know, actually. I can see him just hallucinating about finding a massive stash of peanut butter or something. That actually does seem like something he would do. Don't go off the track! It does alright, this bastardizer, though. Runs a bit warm, though. That's probably because I didn't buy new ICs. The video bastardizer, as I've said, is not about doing a brilliant job. It's about just... Well, that was a fucking rip-off, wasn't it? You can't tell me we didn't just get conned there. Bastard. And he's off. He's a kilometre ahead. You can't win this race now. You know what you might as well do? There's nowhere to exit the league once you go in it. I can't remember my tangent I was going on now. Well, that was something to do with the raccoons. Fucking joystick. You ask me that every time. Yes, I do, but I'm not telling you that because you don't like it. So this is 80s game design, where you had to go into the game to load the game rather than it being on the main menu. I think you could press Alt here or something. Yeah, kinda. Obviously we don't have case sensitivity because we're in DOS. Good. I like being in DOS. DOS is the fucking bestest. Your fucking Amiga is just trest. So what does Gaston say in Beauty and the Beast, right? Because Gaston is the best and the best is all trest, is what I hear. And so I looked the lyrics up because I'm like, well, me and my friends used to use trest to denote, I still do, to denote like a snare drum when I write music. Because I don't write music using conventional fucking score sheets, I never learned it. So I have my own way of jotting it down, no one else has to read it, so I just never fixed it. And it sounds like he says trest. When I look the lyrics up, it says drips. I don't hear drips. I don't hear Gaston is the best and the rest is all drips. I hear Gaston is the best and the rest is all trest. Which makes no sense. Personally, I think that is what he says, and just that he couldn't think of any word to rhyme with it, and they just went with it. Like, hey, no, it's actually like mildly funny, like that the guy has sort of sung himself into a corner with his little pub shanty. Gaston doesn't strike me as the smartest like fella on this earth, you know. He's the villain. He probably ain't that clever. He's not like a diabolical mastermind type villain. He's more brawn than brains. And he dies at the end because he doesn't believe in the power of ballad. That's what his pub shanty did for him. So all the best-selling animated films have ballads in them, if you look. Every last fucking one. And I don't think that's correct. That is the power of ballad. It comes out when Disney stopped using ballads, their movies didn't sell as good. And then you put ballads in, they sell really well. You could actually see the power of ballad. Like, you know Aladdin, right? Jasmine, she don't like Aladdin at first. He's a bit of a dickhead, which he probably is. But then, he has a ballad with her. It's actually the first ballad I ever learned to play on a keyboard. And suddenly she likes him. And then you see fireworks. Well, fireworks weren't actually invented at the time that that story takes place. And what you're seeing is the power of ballad, like, manifest. That's why the water starts sparkling as well. Visually, the power of ballad is sparkly things. I mean, you see at the end of Beauty and the Beast, like, when he undies, like, you know, that is the power of ballad coming to resurrect him. It doesn't resurrect Gaston because he didn't believe in the power of ballad. I mean, the BFG, the animated one in the 80s, I ain't seen the new, I ain't watching the new one, fuck you. But, you know, that one, right? That has the power of ballad in it. Surfy isn't believing, like, that you can fly or anything. And the BFG, you know, is like, is you believing now? And she believes, because the ballad music starts and you see all the sparkly things come out. And that is the power of ballad. Again, it makes things right. Where's my tobacco? I want a cigarette. Yeah, it's the power of ballad happening. An American Tale. Look at all water. There's loads of water in that film and it ain't sparkly. And then stars, they don't twinkle. But they always twinkle when there's a ballad going on. He can't find his family or anything, and then he has his little Linda Ronstadt and James Ingram ballad going on. Awesome fucking ballad, by the way. And, like, you know, that'd be a really good song to ice skate to. But yeah, his little ballad, the water goes sparkly, the stars are sparkly, and suddenly they find each other. And then the sequels, they don't ballad so much. You have, like, Five Will Goes West, and you get a little bit of sparkle water, but the ballad never quite blossoms. And lo and behold, it doesn't sell as well. The first one was the first time an animated movie ever beat Disney in the box office. Second one flopped because the ballad doesn't go flat out, it just goes a little bit fucking underwhelming. Dreams is something I can't remember because it failed. Doesn't have its heart in it. Ballad needs a lot of heart. It needs proper, like, energy. Practically horror chords. Because when you write love songs, the chords are like almost fucking horror chords. And it's just that it's passionate and emotional. So next time you're feeling like down, don't praise to God. Praise to the power of ballad, because God prays to the power of ballad. Even the fucking Lion King, right? It's a fucking lion. And yet he has a ballad, and it goes all sparkly. You know, it's, can you feel the power of ballads? And the ballad happens, and things start going right again. That's because the power of ballad. You just can't beat it. It's infallible. And it fascinates me how there has never ever been a compilation of songs called The Power of Ballad. And I think it's just because, you know, to blow people's cassette players up. I mean, I have, like, the first tape I ever owned is full of soppy shit, right? And it's called The Power of Love. And that song's not on it, which is fucking funny. I guess they couldn't get the license in, but who cares, right? There's a compilation called The Power of Rock, The Power of Pop, The Power of, like, metal, probably, I think there is. I'm pretty certain there's a power of ukulele, which the only power that has is making me want to punch people in the fucking face. And yet there's never been a compilation called The Power of Ballad, which almost seems like the most logical one to do it with, because you have fucking power ballads. And yet there's never been a Power of Ballad compilation. And that, to me, that is telling. And what that is telling me is that you can't have a power of ballad because he's gaining on us. Because it would blow up the fucking stereo. Your stereo would just fucking explode from the power of ballad. It would be too much for it. Even Raccoons has ballads, like, that's why it's all sparkle looking in the intro. And this is why Cyril Sneer never goes away. Like, you know, as we established with Gaston, Beauty and the Beast, right? He goes away because he don't believe in the power of ballad. Cyril Sneer, driving the outside of this track is really dodgy. Cyril Sneer, he obviously believes in the power of ballad himself. It's probably where he got rich. Probably released some ballads. He actually does sing a couple of times in the series, but none of his songs was ballads that I remember. You know, unless you can't get rid of him, because it just cancels it out. Like, oh yeah, the Raccoons believe the power of ballad. Yeah, well, so does Cyril Sneer. You ain't beating him. It's always going to even out. It's like why in, like, say the Buried Treasure episode, right? Cyril Sneer don't get the treasure. You think he's going to. He steals it. The treasure just goes away, because, like, Bart and Cedric, like, they believe the power of ballad. The fucking treasure just destroys itself. They ain't never going to find it. Power of fucking ballad made that happen. I was at the Time Machine episode. I don't care. I ain't seen it in a long time. I need to watch it. I love that show. I like the music. Like, talk about over fucking done, like, 80s stuff. Fucking Saturday morning cartoon does not need music, like, on the scale of, like, Hold Back Tomorrow and shit. And that's more like fucking new wave rock stuff. They didn't need that. They could have totally, like, cheaped out on the music. Nobody would have probably fucking paid it any mind. And yeah, it has overblown awesome music like that. That's just cool. Did you know there's a ZX Spectrum version of this game? It looks like it runs at about 1 frame a second. Which is hardly a surprise, because the ZX Spectrum is a piece of shit. Like, you know, I might have upset some Amiga people in this, so that's the one thing I would think we can probably agree on. The ZX Spectrum is fucking garbage. And my 286 is definitely better than one of those. I don't like the ZX Spectrum. I've never had one that worked. The only working one I've ever had was made in Brest, Belarus, and it is called the Bytes, and it's a fucking clone. And I need to see if the RGB output works with this bastardizer, because it probably does. Probably fucking would. I mean, when those old 80s micros output RGB, it's usually basically like fucking CGA. It's usually RGBS. I don't know about that machine. I'd need to look it up. There is a guy who has schematics. Oh, look at those losers. They're losing, because they are losers. Big Ed, yeah, I'm going to deflate your ego. And I'm going to fuck Turk and Girl character as well, because you know he wants her. I'm going to stick my cock in every hole she has. And then film it and send it to him. Be like, yeah, wish you were doing this, don't you? Well, even if you do get here, I got here fast. Oh, here he goes with his fucking wheelies again. Thinks he's hot shit, doesn't he? I'm calling the shots round here, you fucking big-headed bastard. This is my track. I own it now. I've just bought it with royalties from my ballads that I released. I'm gonna fucking own it now. Ha 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 ha. It's alright, this game, I don't mind it. As I say, hasn't held up fantastically. You're not going to write home and tell your family about it like, I played this really awesome game today. We can't really bash on it that hard, especially not for when it came out and the platforms it was on. I'm surprised there's not a stupid NES version of it. Fucking the NES got every fucking game, but most of them was fucking terrible. I still cannot abide by the fucking sound chip in that thing. It sounds like a cat been raped. I'm fairly certain if you stuck your cock in a cat's fucking minge, it would make sounds much like the NES. Not something I really would want to try. Put bullets through its head, maybe. I don't like cats. I think they're fucking horrible things. Doo-doo-doo. I'm not accelerating because I need more fucking Barts. We've got 23 Bart raccoons left in the car. And 23 fucking cubic fucking feet of air before he passes out from the fucking petrol fumes. Lisa. I would go furry for Lisa Raccoon. I'd think about it, you know. Ain't too bad. I am thinking, I think I said, of getting a Turbo XT machine. Test things like this game on. I wanted a broken motherboard, I can't find one. So, working motherboards only cost a little bit less than buying like a complete system. So I don't want a full XT system, but I might end up buying one at some point and just take all the bits off it and put them in somewhere else and keep the motherboard. I don't really have room. Still, that will be months away because focus now is well and truly on Operation Arp Odyssey. Because I wanted Arp Odyssey, I've wanted one for years. One of the first times I ever heard a synthesizer and thought, what's making that noise? I want to get one. It was an Arp Odyssey, so, you know. So it would have been in Ultravox's music. First synthesizer I ever heard and wondered what the hell's making that noise, I really want to get one, was in an animated film called The Legend of Loch Nagar. It's in the M music. There's like actually quite a bit of synthesizer in it, and I don't know what synthesizer it is, but I definitely knew I wanted one. Like when I heard it, like there's this bass like do 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 do. It has all this fluttery Y bit at the end. I was just, as a kid, I was fascinated. I was just like, well, what instrument does that? Like, what instrument is that noise coming out of? It sounds awesome. Funny things, synthesizers. So, what gets me with them is like early ones, which the people tend to not even call synthesizers, most of the earliest ones, but you know, back when they were using fucking vacuum tubes and even before. Like they're people messed with them, you know, they started tweaking things and made these glassy noises come out of them. And immediately upon hearing those noises, they're like, I can hear space. This is what space sounds like. That just intrigues me, because you didn't have radio telescopes back then. Because what do you know? We point radio telescopes up in space. Like, what sort of radio, like, magnetic fucking field comes off of objects in space? It sounds like a bunch of fucking synthesizers. It's like, well, people knew this, like, before they heard it. Just immediately, well, this is what space sounds like. It turns out it is, you know. There's obviously something in people's brains, like, you know, where they just knew. And it is mandatory if you're making, like, you know, science fiction. You've got to have synthesizers in it. Like, It doesn't work otherwise. Or you gotta at least have electronics of some kind. I mean, like Doctor Who, right? It's one of the most memorable science fiction themes in years. I haven't watched the show in a long time because like the writing direction it went off in. I've jotted down somewhere my plans of how to fix it if I was left in charge. Dickhead. But, you know, it was a big fucking deal, the music on that. Because it was all electronic. It was like, you know, pretty much the first show to do anything quite to that extent. Fully electronic theme music, pretty much. And that's one of the things everyone always remembers. It's one of the signature parts of the show. And that's why, as much as I liked the 2005 series with Christopher Eccleston, in fact, he's my favourite of like the modern Doctors is Eccleston. Can't stand Tennant, he's a wuss. I found the theme music they used in his time to be awful, because it was orchestral. It's like, no, don't put orchestras here. Like, no, we need more fucking electronics. I want to hear synthesizers. Like Peter Howell's one from the 80s, that used an Harp Odyssey. I think the lead in it, the do in the 80s, right, is all like a Mark 1 Harp Odyssey. Fucking War of the Wilds is full of bloody Harp Odyssey. Like that is like the sci-fi synthesizer of like the 70s and the 80s, that bloody thing. I gotta get one. I don't want the fucking Repro version. I thought about it with the Prophet 5 as well. I could buy like the Rev 4, you know, the modern reissue of it. And I just don't think it's the right thing to do, because I don't think it'd be the real experience. And with my Prophet 5, my experience is not 100% bloody positive, because it's like a fucking... It's built like using late 70s, early 80s technology that's, in some cases... Fucking rip-off, look at that! There was nothing I could do. In some cases is Major Jank. He cheated. And like, you know, power supplies in a week, they tend to overheat. I've rebuilt the power supply, I've done it my fucking way. But, you know, we probably wouldn't have that with the Rev 4, it'd be less interesting. Like, I got promoted, fuck him. He obviously knew I'd been fucking Turk and Girl character, didn't he? He's like, I'm really jealous. That guy has had his fucking 10-inch cock in the woman I fucking want. You know, he's probably stretched it and sort of worn it out a bit. My dick's only fucking, like, not as big as Zeph's dick, so... Now, even if I get to fuck her, it's going to be underwhelming. He don't like it. It's like, you know... Mr. Big Head there, he's thinking, oh, she'll see my little 3-inch penis. She won't even feel it. Yeah, well, you know, that's what you get. Because I had the confidence to approach her first, and I'll win all the races. I got more money than you, I got more fucking success than you. I am way more successful than you, Big Head. Look at him. Look at him there, he's like... Fucking, that is more of a fake fucking, like, grimace, that. It's like, you can see he's hiding pain. He's hiding pain. Turk and Girl looks kind of shocked, like, you know. He's just horrified. Like, now it's going around the fucking entire fucking stunt driving industry. That when I rang in sick, like, you know, oh, my machine's not working, you know. It was all staged. And really, we was just fucking in the locker rooms. Well, we're in Division 1. I don't think I'll be doing that today, because I don't think I have the skills at the moment. I think I need to practice. Oh dear. That hard drive sounds like a bunch of bloody firecrackers. Yeah, we're in with the big boys now. I mean, look, the Dodger's black. You know, he's probably a big boy. Like, you know. So I had to get to iFlyer fast. Like, it just had to be done. Maybe she, I don't think she into black men anyway. But she might have been lying. I suppose I'll fuck off and come back later. All my treason, thanks for watching. Ta-ta. Right then, we had to play, like, again, because I wanted to get rid of that structural damage. Because it's pretty much a given, you're going to take a lot of damage in Division 1. Long time since I recorded. Health problems, hardware problems, all kinds of problems. And I have stomach medication. But it's going to take a few months for my stomach to heal up, and I'm probably going to barp a lot in this video. Meanwhile, the capture card has, like, been shit, because the workaround for Streamcatcher stopped working around the problem, and so, well, we had StarTech release. They've released what, as far as I'm told, is just a reskinned version of OBS. It seems to be because it outputs corrupted files and uses exactly 80% of my CPU, which is what OBS does. And you cannot record in the native resolution or, like, you know, a refresh rate of the input signal anymore. You just have a 1920 by 1080 workspace at a fixed frame rate. It has completely hobbled the card. It's next to useless now. I've had to basically bodge the software up just to get the files to go into Vegas. Audio lag is quite disorienting to play because I'm hearing things several seconds after they happen, which, even in a game like this with pretty crummy sound effects, you do kind of rely on the sound. It gives you feedback. I mean, much as it isn't a thing in this game, in real life you do it when you drive a car, you know, you listen to the engine, like, you know when to change gear. I'm sure there's some lazy fucker out there who drives an automatic and never does that. But I would drive an automatic if I had a car, probably, because I'm kind of lazy like that. So why should I change gears if my car can do it for me? Oh, I thought I'd made a mistake then. There's something you've got to watch out for with this is the boost, as we've discussed. The Bert Raccoon meter that's on all the cars, our car, whatever. Anyway, it's late in my day, I'm tired. Division 1's hard. It's taken me several attempts, and then I just kind of stopped because StarTech, you know, broke the card. So really, when you think about it, this is now unsupported hardware. And there's two of them in the machine, so it's very expensive unsupported hardware. It's very nice. Problem is, it's probably still the least shit one of the selection that you have now. Like, what, am I supposed to buy a fucking Blackmagic card? They don't work with anything. So many problems with Blackmagic cards. Just they're not designed to do this kind of job, really. Hopag, they lock their shit down to their own software, so you don't want to open it in anything other than Acro fucking soft fucking noob maker or whatever. Or if you don't want to run it in WinTV whatever, you know, you're fucked, really. There's only 9 things left on the Bert Raccoon meter. I still think it's him, like, how close he is to passing out from the exhaust fumes. Stomach. Oh, what a race! It's quite an achievement in Division 1, believe me. Oh dear. Yeah, about an hour and a half before I take my stomach medication again. It gets a bit rough in the last hour or so. And I've eaten more today, so it's going to be a bit more rough. I just kind of keep it at a level, because I need to eat more, but it does cause me problems, so I'm sort of keeping it at a certain level of discomfort, because I need the food. Yeah, I haven't really eaten in a couple of months. But hey, I'm back on 4 slices of bread today, as of a few days ago, so that's good. I've had 1.5 packets of the mini cheddars today. And a pot noodle with most of the stuff other than the noodles removed, but... well, that was something, you know. It's better than it was. This next track, whiz kid, look at him. Is he going to take a whiz on the track and make us skid out? Oh no, it's Hot Rod. Well, he's compensating for something quite clearly, and I can't remember how to race this track, so... well, I sort of vaguely remember things about it. Obviously that big jump you want to be going real fast for, but some of them you don't. So I might have to restart the fucking game. The thing is, you're going to take structural damage on this track. There's no ifs or buts about it. I don't think there's anything you can do to stop it. And I don't remember what the magic speed is. Do you just want to gun it? Let's just gun it. It's broken, this jump. One way or another, your car is going to take damage on this jump. I'm amazed we didn't get structural. See, if we go any slower, we take damage going up the ramp. If we go faster, we take damage coming down. I don't gun it, because I don't know what's on the other side. Okay, there is a jump, but it doesn't appear to be a very big one. It's a jump into a corner. Where do you think this goes? What do you think this is? Okay, it's not a huge jump, but it is a jump. Drop into a corner. This is a rough track. There's a jump coming out of a turn. I'm trying to remember it, so I'm sort of making notes. Jesus Christ. Oh yeah, we have this shit. I wonder if you can get enough points without winning the races on this track. Obviously I'm going to try, but I'm just kind of hanging back on the fast lap because I'm not quite sure what to do. I mean, like I say, this is like the last track at the end. Oh, I didn't say. I was going to say. But I guess it doesn't matter. We've seen it, haven't we? You haven't seen it? Well, I'll get it out for you in a second. Hang on. Oh wait, the camera don't work, so I can't. I think that might have just cocked us. You see how it bounces up early? That's a thing that it does. So this is probably... yep, there you go. Not over the edge, please. Come on. No, it's going. Nothing you can do. Race is lost, just please don't take structural damage. Okay, and he's going to be a kilometre ahead by the time we get off here, so we're not going to catch him. But we might get best lapped, because the way it calculates that is broken. It just seems to make its mind based on something. The AI I don't think is really AI, I do think it's just a bunch of stuff, like a bunch of pre-programmed events. Because this game probably will run on a Turbo XT, and I'm going to test that, because I have ordered myself a Turbo XT. It's an Arabic one. Well, part Arabic, part Taiwanese, because I'm not touching IBM. No, I won't touch the big brands, so it's a Dow Products International or something like that. Well, that's structural damage, lovely. I told you, this is why I played the game again. Because we're going to tuck that whole time. We ain't going to catch him. Boost, how are we doing? We've got 30 raccoons left. But yeah, it's a bit rough, this game. For the year it came out, to say it's on a PC, it's fucking fantastic, and to be honest, the sheer shit grade of hardware we're going to wreck. Because of a corner of all things, probably. But, you know, the year this game came out on a PC, it is an absolutely fucking phenomenal thing. There we go, we've wrecked out. Absolutely nothing you can do about it. Yep, the car's destroyed, and that structural damage will never go away. We got best lap though, so we're getting points. What, I got the best, I'm sure I got the best lap. Oh, you can fuck yourself. See, he's jealous because I fucked Turk and Gal character, is what his problem is. He doesn't like it. Because I had sex with her right on the fucking starting line, like right in front of him while he was waiting. And I'm not ready to race yet, I've got something to do, hang on. And now he's mad, he doesn't like it, because he wanted it. And I got there fast, like, well, dude, you know, you can probably get her, because you're a fucking, like, fantastic liar. That is one skill you have, and I'm sure she'll fall for it, because she ain't that smart, but, I mean, you know, when you're fucking perking her, you'll always know I perked it fast. That's gonna fucking wreck his day, he ain't gonna like it. Right, now we have to win. You go full speed here, can't you? Because you can just make it across to the next ramp. Yeah, that's what the AI does. See, I don't think the AI is really driving the track. Like, I don't think it can deviate from what it's doing. I don't think it knows what the track is, per se. It just carries out a set of commands. Like, it just... It's almost like watching a video play, this sort of deal. Yeah, AI cars tend to speed up when they're in the air. Your car tends to slow down. So, you know, the physics model does not really apply to them. It is possible that they might have recorded a player's inputs. You know, somebody who worked on the game might have driven the car around the track. But for some reason it just doesn't seem to translate accurately, I don't know. I didn't make the fucking game. Very interested to see how it does run on a Turbo XT. Has no hard drive in it. I only wanted a motherboard, but motherboards like tend to cost 80 quid minimum. Don't come with all the RAM or anything, and well, it's a fucking motherboard, and that's your lot. Cost 116 quid for a full system. I'm like, well, we'll take that, because if nothing else, you get a power supply, you get a floppy drive, you get a case, and you get a motherboard that's got the RAM maxed out. It seems like better fucking value to me. It's just simple economics. Like, it costs more, but we get more. To buy those parts individually, it costs a hell of a lot more. I mean, I had to buy DRAM chips, cause, well, you were there. The fucking video card in this went wonky, didn't it? So, I have fixed it now, but we're still on the EGA card for now, because it's like what we've been playing on. We might as well finish on that. Is this the one that you can jump? I think it is, yeah. You know, we're still on the EGA card. It's doing its job. We went over to it for this game. I figured I'd finish this game on it. But yeah, the EverX viewpoint, it's working again now, so we can go back on that at some point. Even though this thing really doesn't do much in the way of VGA, because it's a 6 MHz 286, and 6 MHz 286s really aren't the best performers. A lot faster than fucking XTs. I'm not making slights at the 8088, of course. It's just the 286 was a massive leap over it in performance. Like, it's just a much faster CPU at the same clock, and there's no way around that. Right, we're racing WizKid now. He's going to whiz on my fucking tyres to make my car skid around. This should be the last race, but we're probably going to wreck the car and lose. I'll try my best. I'll make a note of the speed that we end up going the first time over that ramp, but the thing is, the physics does seem to be affected by whether you are accelerating or decelerating or what when you hit a ramp, and it's a little bit strange, and because this ramp is faulty, there's a few places where the physics in this game are really quite buggy. Can you not please, dude? It's not funny. What do you reckon, about 190? That hit our back wheels. Well, 190 don't do it. That gives us structural damage. I don't suppose it matters too much. We only have to make it 3 laps around this fucking shit track. This jumps us into a corner, doesn't it, I think? Slow down. No, it jumps us to a jump. So yeah, we need to slow down anyway. He's catching up on us. Then there's a corner and we take structural damage again. You can see this just wrecks your car. He's fucking gone. I don't know if we can catch him. I don't know if we have enough Bart Raccoons left in the car to get, like, boost for the rest of the time we're on the track. If that had done me structural damage, I would have been furious. Right, what do you reckon, 170 on that fast jump? Like, at the start of the fucking thing? Because I just don't know no more, man. For fuck's sake, this is like that roller coaster track. You see, the roller coaster track has corners that make you jitter like that. And it also has this dodgy fucking thing where you can be, like... This game, if you're on a straight bit of road, the car actually straightens itself if you don't touch the steering, and so you kind of rely on that when you're at the top of a ramp. You just let go. As long as you can get the wheels on the track, if only for a second, the car will go straight. And then you know it'll be in line with the road once it bounces into the R. But the problem there is that the fucking... Okay, let's try and maintain about this speed. Do you think that's good enough? Do you think we'll make it? Do you think we'll take lots of damage? We didn't take structural damage, so that's an improvement. I don't remember what this was. I don't want to go too fast, but... Fucking hell, man. You can't be doing that. He just goes straight over. Look at that. See, if I'd done that, that would be structural damage for me. Ideally, we need to win this race, because it's really the last race, I think. Unless it's going to give us an extra one if we don't... Like, how would it work? I've never been in that situation before. I always seem to lose speed at the top of that ramp. We got plenty of burnt raccoons left in the car, so... we can make use of them. But he just seems to be leaving us behind now. For fuck's sake, this fucking corner! Are we going to make it around a third lap? See, I personally think the roller coaster track is indirectly to blame for the Everex's ram failing. I don't think it broke it as such. Like, I don't think the game does anything that dodgy. I just think that it's a dodgy track, and the ram was already kind of dodgy, and so that just sort of tipped it over the edge. I'll be utterly amazed if we make it another lap. Of course we'll try. You know, I won't just give up. We'll show Wiz in your face, whatever his name is, like what we fucking make of it. Structural damage, we're going too slow. Glorious. You cannot win on this track. Oh, there you go. Well, we tried our best, and I don't know if I can beat this game. I really don't. I guess I'll try. Because this, you've seen all the races, so what I'll do, if I beat the game, I'll just record how it ends when you win. Because you're not going to see much of anything different. We got best lap at least, and now it'll probably award it to him anyway, because it... Yeah, there you go, look at that. Wow, that's broken. Relegation for WizKid. Do we win? I guess we just stay in Division 1. Well, anyways, I'll come back if I beat the game, because you've seen how the race works. Of course, the last thing you'd want to do is carry on playing on this save. What you want to do is reload it now, because it's fucking fucked you, you know. Unfortunately, there's no way back into this load menu once you're in a racing season. It's really kind of shit like that. But anyways, we'll come back if I win, and I guess I'll come back if I lose just to sign off. Actually, I'll record that now, so, you know, yeah, if you're hearing this, it's not worked out when we fucking suck at the game. I'm High Treason, thanks for watching. I guess you'll have to see how it ends with someone else. Nothing very fancy happens to my knowledge, but it was fun to mess about with, and, you know, it killed time because I was mostly playing it while I couldn't really do anything else. I just felt too shit. So, yeah. Anyways, I'll see you around. Thanks for watching. Oh, did we do it? Did we do it? Probably not. Might just be enough. You don't get anything for winning, I swear. See what we got. Whizzed his pants, kid. Oh, it knocked him down to third. We fucking won. Pure luck. Promotion to the Super League. That's a rugby league. Well, we're going to play rugby with cars. I used to enjoy playing rugby until I got banned. Guess why I got banned? Been aggressive. Yeah, like, I wasn't beating the shit out of people, like, too much. It was for yelling at people. When people had come to tackle me, I'd scream in their face, and they decided that was excessive aggression. It's fucking rugby. That's what rugby is aggression. Like, come on, man. The other team actually backed me up. Like, I'm not playing the Super Fuck Off League. I don't know if it's any different. But I'm not playing the Super Fuck Off League. No one told me there was a Super Fuck Off League. We'll have a quick look at it. I'm pressing keys loud so I can sync this up. Let's go and see. It'll be the same tracks because I know there are no more tracks in the game. I can't actually remember how to race this now. I'm going to consider it complete. Like, I don't think we get anything else. I don't think there's any great artwork. Someone on the internet's probably beat it. But there's no way, if this is... I'm not doing that fucking drawbridge track again. You can fuck off. Because the thing is, I actually like this game, and I'd prefer to keep it that way. Yeah, the AI definitely drives a lot faster. Whoa, 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 where? Physics bug. Well, if anything, we should surely have gone off the left there. Broken game. As I say, I found it really hard to be harsh on this game just because of when it came out and the platform it's on. And if it's supposed to run on XTs, it can't do complex physics and shit. For what it is, it does a fucking splendid job, let's be honest. Let's be reckless and try and catch that dickhead. Might as well. How was that not fast enough to make the jump? The physics got all fucking dodgy. Probably have, haven't they? That bit of the road looked dodgy. I mean, we're not trying to win now, are we? By the way, you see how the speedometer just reset? It tells you it does that in the manual, that it will go over. We're going to run out of burnt raccoons. We've got 2 Lisa raccoons though, so that's good. I definitely would think about going fiery for Lisa raccoon. Like, you know, she's alright. Who cares about the Bart meter? We're not trying to win here, are we? We might as well just gun it. I don't think we're going to catch the AI though. Like, this looks like you just can't make mistakes. Maybe on a faster computer I'd try, but on a 6 MHz 286 that the game doesn't run good on, I do like the speed we've got now though. I'll finish the track if I can, or wreck out, whatever comes fast. Do we need boost to get over this? Probably. Well, I think that's the jump done, so it should be fine now. It's removed the structural damage though. So I'm glad we took a look, because at least now we know that. And we don't seem to take damage any faster. The AI just drives faster. Oh yeah, what's this slap to the face? You lose the race? It doesn't let you finish. I always hate when games do that. It should be optional, because sometimes you don't want to do it, like, but sometimes you do. They all got their back turned to him. It's like, ugh. But there you go, that is Stunt Car Racer. There's another game I'm looking for that was a stunt car racing game, and I've never been able to find it. It had loops in it. The handling was more similar to this, but most of the track was at ground level. The accelerator and brake was the shift keys. I had it on a CD. I've never been able to find it again. I'd love to find it. I'm sure it was just called Stunt Cars or something. It wasn't those 2 big ones, the ones everyone talks about. It wasn't them. I feel like it was trying to be halfway between this and those. It was a weird thing. I can't find it. But yeah, 6 MHz 286 we played on. And finished with an EGA card in the machine. Let's have a look in there. Oh, this was Lame Guy's stuff, wasn't it? Oh, yeah. There we go. Yeah, it's not a super fast machine. It does its job. I'm out of here. Am I treason? Thanks for watching. I'll see I might have Crystal Caves for you, actually. I'm not sure yet. We'll see how it goes. Ta-ta.